addictive. It's like drugs. It's like any kind of an addiction. You start rolling those dice and you get hot. So the Cavs fans, the city of Cleveland, end of October, November, December, January, February, March, April, they're rolling. They're going down to the queue. They're watching the Cavs. They're in a playoff run. They're all of that good stuff and everything. And here comes the good weather, and here comes spring training. The Indians following that up, all of a sudden, fans in Cleveland are like, you know what? Man, the Indians just went out and signed two of the top. You can't go out and get LeBron of that sport, but getting two of the upper guys, including one of them being a hometown favorite like Victor, the fan base is like, hey, wait a minute. Now you've got to think that with the cutting of the seats and the smaller, more intimate stadium, you may not sell it out every day, but you're going to top off a lot more than you did last season. You're going to raise that average attendance a lot more than you think, and I just think it follows that groundswell. And I think, like I said, I think winning and going to the fun, hot sporting event is addictive. You're going to need something else to go to. I'm not referring to Indians fans. I'm referring to those casual fans that are the difference between 17,000 and 27,000. You know what I mean? Those are the ones that are going to be like, hey, all of a sudden, the only Cavs games left are the playoff games, and it cost, a house note to get me a ticket to those. Man, the Indians, man, they got Scherzer and Victor and Kluber, and wow, man, we got the best team in baseball too. And I'm just saying that mindset, business-wise, could behoove the Indians. Now, I'm not saying, obviously the odds are 99.999% that they don't think the same way that we do, but that thought process is out there, and I thought Mike did a good job of explaining that.
Right. I think that's a very interesting phenomenon that they're talking about. And I think that, what you're pretty much talking about is a sense from the fans that the team is going for it. We're getting the best talent we possibly can under whatever financial circumstances we have, and we're really going to go for the championship. We're going pretty much all in. And that's how people think about the Cavs. If the Cavs win or lose, the fans aren't going to say, well, they didn't try, they didn't get it, they didn't get this. No, they got all the guys. They got all the guys that should do it, and now you just roll out the ball and see if they can do it. And there's a bit of it's a trust factor between the team and the fans, and that trust can go away too when you feel like your team is cutting corners or missing opportunities or sacrificing winning baseball on the altar of saving money. That's what really turns the fans off, and that's what makes you think, they're not really, I can't support them with my money because they're not really supporting me by really, maximizing their opportunities and going all the way. So yeah, if they did something like that, if they really broke the bank and brought in guys like that, there would be that feeling of, you know what, the Indians are going for it. I can trust them. I know that they're really doing the best they can, so I'm going to go out and see them play, and if they fail, it'll be because they failed on the field, not because they were timid or cheap financially.
All right. That being said, we'll set the stage for next week. I've got Jessica I coming up just 5 minutes from now. Let's pick up from there. That's the fantasy world. Next week, let's you and I sit down in reality and target 4 or 5 guys that you think the Indians realistically are looking at and going after here this offseason, and we'll start from there, and we'll see what we can do and then what they do.
Okay, we're going to do that now, you said?
I'm sorry, where'd you go?
I said, are we going to do that now, you said?
No, let's do that next week.
Oh, okay, because I had my guys already. I've been sort of researching them and everything.
Let's do that next week, my man. That's what we're going to do.
We have a long off season. We'll spread it out.
Free agents, and the week after that, we'll talk about perhaps some potential trades coming up for the Indians as well. But we've got our mission clear here. They've got their mission clear as well. Jeff Gorman, always a good conversation. Definitely not trying to cut you short, but we've got Jessica I coming up live 5 minutes from now. I've got to get the news in. I've got to get her on. Jeff, you know what? We're going to move you all over the place because Thursday you're going to join us instead of Friday, and we'll get a Bengals scouting report and get you all set for Thursday night football. So you and I will be back here Thursday doing the Bengals and the Browns.
All right, that's going to be very exciting. See if the Browns can keep it going. I know a lot of people have their doubts, they're skeptics, but I think the Browns are going to put forth pretty darn good effort, and we'll see if they can do it, because the Bengals are going to be pretty darn tough both times we play them this year.
A pretty darn good effort. We're going to talk about that effort. We'll talk about what the Browns are facing and give you a Bengals scouting report from Jeff Gorman coming up Thursday. Jeff, have a good one. Next Tuesday, you and I will look at the 5 realistic free agent targets you think the Indians could and should go after this winter.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
My man, Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com. Have a good one. We'll catch up on Thursday.
All right. Thank you, Terry.
You got it. Sit tight. Here comes the news. After that, get ready to throw them down. Get your gloves on. We're going to put them up and throw it down. Jessica Evil Eye, UFC fighter. She's featured on the upcoming UFC pay-per-view from Mexico. We'll talk to her before she gets on the plane. Coming up next after the news. Don't go anywhere. Jessica Evil Eye coming up next here on the Sports Fix.
The Sports Fix, your choice for intelligent talk.
I'm expecting a very important delivery at the house, so could you please call me if it arrives? I'll give you my cell number. 401-555-1125.
440.
No, I was just repeating the 4. 1-4.
14.
Intelligent talk.
Okay, 1125.
1125. 155.
I'm not giving you quantities of the numbers. I'm giving you the numbers. 1125. Those are the last 4 numbers.
Oh, I see. 1125.
Yes. All right. Now read the number back to me.
Let me get my pen.
The Sports Fix will be right back.
Hi, this is Joe Tate, and you're listening to the Sports Fix.
Business owners and professionals, do you want to take your business, your product, your team, your event to the next level? You want to advertise right here with the Sports Fix. Our listeners are among the most loyal listeners, terrestrial or internet. The Sports Fix universe is not only the radio show, but tens of thousands of fans on Facebook and Twitter. Email me, Jerry Myers, thesportsfix@AOL.com. That's thesportsfix@AOL.com. And let me help you swing for the fences and hit it out of the park right here on the Sports Fix. Whether it's an oil change or a new set of tires, Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck has you covered for your automotive car care needs. They're your neighborhood quick service experts. They also offer a low price teen brands, and if you find the same tires at a lower price within 30 days, Quick Lane at Valley Ford will refund the difference. They're open late Monday through Thursday until 9 p.m. and open early Saturday so you can check it off your to-do list and get on with your day. They also have a newly remodeled service lounge and additional service bay just for Quick Lane oil changes. Quick Lane at Valley Ford Truck is located at 5715 Canal Road, right under the 480 bridge in Valley View, just down the road from Independence. 5715 Canal Road, right under the 480 bridge in Valley View, just down the road from Independence. Come see why life is better in the Quick Lane. QuickLane.com/Valley Ford Truck. That's QuickLane.com/Valley Ford Truck.
Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Harry Buffalo. Harry Buffalo, join the herd.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. Vikings running back Adrian Peterson could reach a plea agreement today in his child abuse case. A legal resolution in the matter might open the door to his return to the field in the near future. Giants cornerback Prince Amukamara tore his biceps in the loss to the Colts. He's probably out for the season. Washington coach Jay Gruden says he was encouraged by what he saw from Robert Griffin III in his return from a dislocated ankle, but admitted there are serious questions remaining about the quarterback position. Griffin, Colt McCoy, Kirk Cousins have all played QB this season for Washington. Baseball, the Indians have agreed on a 2-year extension with manager Terry Francona through 2018. The Twins set to introduce their new skipper today, Hall of Famer Paul Molitor. New York Daily News is reporting the Yankees have no plans to pursue the top 3 free agent pitchers on the market this winter, Max Scherzer, John Lester, or James Shields. Yankees have no interest in third baseman Pablo Sandoval either. NBA Bulls star point guard Derrick Rose probable tonight against the Magic. He did miss Saturday's win because of both ankle sprains.
When you're on the road cheering on your favorite football team, you need a comfortable room to come back to. With nearly 2,000 hotel locations, Hampton has free hot breakfast and free Wi-Fi to help you keep up with your team. Book now at Hampton.com.
You're listening to the Sports Fix.
Come on, man. And with the local DBC news, LL Cool J with a triumphant comeback. But tonight, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Welcome back to the Sports Fix live across the Sports Fix Radio Network. During the news break there, how many times in your life you could probably count on one hand the number of times you've heard them say, and the Yankees are not interested in the top 3 pitchers or any of the other top free agents. When have you ever heard that phrase in the beginning of the offseason? So, of course, that is it's a distraction. It's like Custer in Night at the Museum. They're screaming loudly, "We will not attack!" And then we will attack. They'll never see it coming. But so that means they're going to try to sign every free agent out there instead of just picking 1 or 2. Welcome back to the Sports Fix. J-Rock back with you as we roll on. Thanks to Jeff Gorman from Indians101.com. Sorry to cut Jeff short, but our next guest on the slate here, and I'm just going to tell you now, I'm not trying to get beat up, so I wanted to make sure that we got this in, and we got it in on time. Jessica Evil Eye, of course, she's been with us before here on the Sports Fix, and getting ready to go back at it in the UFC Octagon. She's heading to Mexico. UFC 180 coming up November 15th. Let's talk about all of that. You guys, by the way, phones are closed since she's on them. I don't want you to get beat up either, so stay off the phones. Facebook.com/TheSportsFix. Tweet with us at TheSportsFix CLE. Email us, TheSportsFix@AOL.com. I'm going to the phones right now. Jessica Evil Eye. Jessica, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm fantastic, and thanks for having me on.
Hey, thanks for being here. I know that, it's been an up and down journey for you here this year. I'm sure that you're glad to have a lot of that in the rearview mirror and be focused ahead on a fight here coming up. And it's a big one. There's a lot of distractions that are going to come with it as you leave the stateside here, head to Mexico. It's going to be a big crowd. I think they sold, 20,000 tickets the minute they were put on sale for this thing. It's going to be in movie theaters, and not that you need me to put it in perspective, but it's going to be a pretty big one for you coming up next week.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm pumped, considering how pretty much everything has been, going down. A lot of the big name guys, Diego Sanchez,
yep.
Off the card, Cain Velasquez, which, a lot of people, were really excited for them, and they were big time draws. And not that any of the other men aren't draws on this card, but I kind of feel like I'm a pretty big draw now, and this is my opportunity now that some of the big hitters are off, that I can, truly show them what Jeff Guy's made of.
Yeah, and I'm not just saying this because you're on here, but in my show prep, I was looking around at some of those various MMA sites that are out there, and on more than one piece, I saw people predict that the women's fight with you and Leslie Smith could steal the show here because of some of the changes on the card, as well as the uniqueness of being the only female fight on the show, so you're going to stand out. But seriously, several different things that I saw a preview, and it said you guys have the opportunity to be the show stealers, so to say, here on the card.
Oh, I know for a fact me and Leslie both are gamers, and we're both trying to get that bonus. We're both trying to get ahead in life, so I'm pumped, man. I couldn't be more excited to go to Mexico. I mean, I'm a little nervous. I mean, granted, because everyone's like, do you know that's where the movie Taken was based upon? And I'm like, man, ain't nobody taking me. Ain't nobody going to do nothing to me. I'm there with one of the biggest organizations in the world. They're not going to let anything happen to me. Let alone do I think that the Spanish or the Mexican community would ever want anything bad to happen to Miss Evil Eye. So I think I'm in a fantastic position to go over there and just have them.
But they're going to fall in love, I believe, with the fight as well because of the style of you guys. Both of you guys have no problem getting up there. It's in your DNA to go toe-to-toe and put on a show for the people. They love to see a good stand-up fight, and the potential is there for both of you guys to get at it in that manner as well, which always makes a more exciting fight. Of course, I'm into the technical aspects, but we know that to the general public, the better of a stand-up, the more they get into it, and there's the potential for that aspect of this fight as well, just the way you two, your styles will fit against each other here in this fight.
For sure. I definitely know that she's, like I said, she's a gamer and I'm a gamer. So, I mean, really at that point, like, there's, it only means for a better show. You know, it only means that something good's going to happen.
You got that right. And, I mentioned it at